Good morning guys, and welcome to this edition of Cyclopedia. Today I'm going to do an urban exploration, and I'm starting off in a neighbourhood that is about to undergo some huge changes. I'm here in Queenstown, which was Singapore's first ever planned satellite town, and kind of a groundbreaker for the satellite towns that were to follow and nowadays cover huge areas of the little red dot. Plans for Queenstown were first announced in 1953 by the Singapore Improvement Trust, a kind of colonial era predecessor of the HDB. Now, Queenstown was named after Queen Elizabeth II to mark her coronation that took place just 12 months earlier. Before it was developed, Queenstown was a swampy valley fringed with plantations and burial grounds known as Bo Bei Kang in Hokkien or Wu Wei Gang in Mandarin. The literal meaning being no tail river, as the source of the stream that ran through here could not be found. Now, this part of Queenstown is known as Tanglin Halt, and completed in 1962, it is one of Singapore's oldest HDB estates. And this quirky hexagonal building just behind me is known as the Tanglin Halt Food Centre, and it's built at the heart of the Tanglin Halt estate. And if you've never been here to try the hawker food, then you better get your skates on, because the whole area is scheduled to be torn down by the end of the year, ahead of planned redevelopment. Now, this 7-storey housing block, there are 3 of them along Stirling Road here, were the first ever public housing blocks to be developed by the HDB, and were completed in 1960, the same year that the HDB officially took over the duties of the Improvement Trust. And apparently the site of these 3 finished blocks, standing among what was then mostly undeveloped swampland, was a source of much amusement for locals at the time. Where I am right now, or should I say just over there, because it's too noisy along the main road, so I've come inside this HDB block to film, was the scene of some deadly riots back in 1955. The Hock Lee bus riots, as they are known, came about when drivers from the company formed a union in an attempt to get better pay and working conditions. A rival union then formed, and following a series of disputes between the company and the unions, disgruntled drivers began to picket the depot and stop the buses from running. The police were eventually called in, and after using high-powered water jets to disperse the picketers, a full-scale riot broke out on May the 12th that resulted in dozens of injuries and the deaths of 4 people. This was just one of several bouts of unrest that affected Singapore in the 1950s, among them the National Service riots in 1954 and the Chinese middle school riots in 1956. Mention Tiong Bahru to people who know Singapore, and immediately images of low-rise Art Deco flats such as these behind me spring to mind. That's because this part of the district was constructed in 1930 when the SIT that I mentioned earlier in the video constructed 50 odd of these apartment blocks to solve the problem of overcrowding in Chinatown. Before then, this part of Singapore was pretty rural, although it did have its fair share of long-term residents. You see, according to the official heritage trail, the name Tiong Bahru is derived from one of the 2 cemeteries that used to be located where the Singapore General Hospital now stands. There was the old cemetery Tiong Lama, Tiong being the Hokkien word meaning to die or the end of, and Lama the Malay word for old, and the new cemetery or Tiong Bahru. Early settlers arrived in Tiong Bahru at around the turn of the 20th century and included local businessmen such as Ong Sam Leong, who I mentioned in my Bukit Brown video, and Wee Kei Shang. Now you know where the name of the road comes from. Anyway, if you're interested in finding out more about the area, there are a lot of resources online, which I'll link to in the description down below. But for now, I'm just going to have a wander around and enjoy the scenery. Now, I had been wanting to come to this place for ages, but I guess it's bad timing on my part because today's a holiday, and so the line is just ridiculous. Look. There's probably about 30 people in the line, and I really can't be bothered to wait that long. So I have to come back another day. What is it about this D apostrophe thing in Singapore? I see it so much. You got D Hotel, D Laksa, D Resort. Does it have some kind of special meaning in Singapore that I'm not aware of? If anybody knows, please let me know in the comments, because I find it kind of cheesy. Can I have a passion fruit orange juice, please? Less ice. That's plum Didn't feel that hungry today, so I just got shui gui, which is kind of a light snack, and some fruit juice. And now I've just got to find somewhere to sit down and eat them because you can't sit in at the moment. So let the hunt begin. Wow, fancy box, although actually I would have been quite happy with the banana leaf, which I thought I was getting, but by then it was too late. Yeah, so let's have some shui gui. Wow, the chili is pretty spicy.
Nice, very nice, huh?
How true?
This one good, nice.
The rice cakes are almost, they're so smooth, they're like ice cream. Obviously they don't taste like ice cream, but the texture is very creamy. The meat sauce is really nice. I got orange and passion fruit juice. $2.50 only. It's nice, the the passion fruit juice counteracts the sweetness of the orange juice, so it's really well balanced and not too strong with flavours. Uh-oh, look what I did. I shouldn't have done that. I bought 8, but I think 6 would have been the ideal number. I'm really going to struggle with these last 2. Cheers. Okay guys, so we've come to the end of today's adventure around Queenstown and Tiong Bahru. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. I've really enjoyed looking around all these old estates. If you did, then you know what to do. Give me an old like and please consider subscribing. And if you can't do without my videos on a Saturday morning, then you can always hit that bell for notifications. And once again, before I go, I'd just like to say a quick thank you to my coffee mates. Really appreciate all your donations and your support. But that's it for now guys. I'm off home now, so take it easy and I'll see you next week and stay safe. Over and out.